Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the Late Vibe Show, man. It's the late in the UK, obviously. Got a couple of people from America and other parts of the world, Canada as well. So it might be early for them, but listen, you're in the neck of the woods of England, so you are called the Late Vibe Show. But we're here today, people, man. We got man like Griggs in the building. Griggs, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, bro. Just enjoy that nice match of football. Ross Barkley looked like Paul Scholes out there. That might have been the best performance I've seen from a midfielder this season. I can't lie, that was incredible. But I feel bad for Luton, man. I feel bad for Luton, but you know what it is. Now I gotta. That was a good football, but tomorrow we go back to the dead football. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, big up, man. I was gonna say Ross Barkley. I take him out of McTominay, mate. I'm telling you, man, this guy was playing unbelievable in that game, man. Minna, hope you're well. Is it first time on the channel or is it second time? Maybe?
I think this is my first time, you know. I think this is my first time.
Wow, welcome on the channel. Yeah, Minna debut. I've been on her channel as well, so make sure you check out the videos on her channel. But Minna Football, hope you're well. And yeah, big up to you for coming on. Adam was there last night, but you know what I mean? When we can catch you, man. So, you know, we got to use up all your 3 hours.
Yeah,
you know
I just got back home from uni, so it's good just to calm down and just talk about football. I don't talk about football during the day, which is basically a good thing. But I enjoy talking about football as well. So thank you for having me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Brian Elite Pundit in the building, looking swagged up there, man. You know, so you're going out after this or something.
I think
we can't hear you, brother. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. No, he's not on mute. He's not on mute. Yeah. We'll let Brian sort that out. But Brian, big up to you as well. And then we got Matt. Yep. Can you hear you now? Yeah, Marcel. Yeah. But your mic's not on, though. Your mic's not on. We can hear you. But yeah, big up to you. And Marcel with the Christmas tree there. Big up to you. How you doing, my friend?
Well, God, how you been, Said? Man, I heard 3-3. I just heard that Arsenal drew to Luton Football Club.
No. 4-3, man. They won. They showed mentality, man. Arsenal winning the league, man. I told you guys. You didn't listen to me. Arsenal going to win the league this year.
This is won last second.
Declan Rice.
Last second, Declan Rice. Look at them in the chat. Can you not see the chat? Are you on the private chat or something?
Nah,
Check
I
the
don't.
chat, man.
I try not to watch the chat because people just get onto me all the time on there. So I just don't watch the chat, bro. I don't watch the chat. What?
Hey, listen, they're gonna win the league, man. I've been
Man.
telling people, man, they're gonna win the league. So fair
They
play
haven't-
to them, man. Arsenal,
It's
listen,
too early.
that's what you call. Nah, listen, man. That's title credentials, man. They win the league last minute. You got Declan Rice. I told people about Declan Rice, man. I watched this
Yeah.
guy 5 years ago at Old Trafford dominate the midfield as an 18-year-old under Louis Van Gaal, I think it was. This guy's unbelievable, man. So yeah, man. Different. Absolutely different, man. But listen, we've got pressing issues to talk about. Big day tomorrow. Is it El Sakiko tomorrow? Is it, redemption for Ten Hag? And also, we're going to talk about Rashford. Will he be dropped? And also, just the debacle of today. Today's been a crazy day, Like, guys, today, bro, I've done 1,000 stuff today, yeah? But I've just been like, the morning was crazy, man. I'm going to start with you, Griggs, man. What have you made of today, just in general? Big up to Lee Gunner for the raid as well, by the way. Big up to Lee Gunner for the raid. But yeah, man, Michael, man, today's been a crazy day, man.
I can't lie. I don't know what's going on today. I haven't been on Twitter that much. I've only been I just watched the game. That's about it.
Oh, haven't seen anything?
Nah, what do we do today?
Oh my days.
But
Oh,
I'm
you know
trying
what? Let
to.
me go to Miller.
Yeah,
Let me go
me
to
hear.
Miller.
My bad.
Miller will
My bad.
explain. Today, let Michael know what's happened today and just in general your thoughts on the madness today, man. The madness. Big up the rat
Oh,
army.
never mind. I do know. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, the journalism stuff. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Samuel Luckhurst can hold
Anything else
that.
got to talk about?
Samuel Luckhurst can hold that, bro. This guy has been for like the last 5 years writing the worst articles I've ever seen in my life, and as someone that an aspiring journalist myself, bro, nasty articles. And he even came with an opinion piece like 5 minutes after they banned him, and then the Manchester Evening News came out with their own article. They started comparing like stuff from 1958 and shit and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on over there. It's a good thing from Ten Hag though. Kind of just ban those guys. Try to stop these leaks that are happening. And then now it's tomorrow. Obviously, it's time to put up or shut up. Pretty much, in my opinion. Let's do something. I think Andy Min from the Athletic came out with a tweet yesterday saying that he had a talk with Ten Hag and how he has confidence in Ten Hag. Ten Hag has confidence in himself to change this stuff. And I tweeted that must start tomorrow. Then I want to see if I see changes tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, okay. Okay, maybe you have some salvation left in you. But I think with the journalists getting banned and stuff, it was good. I mean, in my opinion, I think every single time United lose, it's the same articles, same journalists that just come out with 50% of the dressing room has lost vote power, like all that kind of stuff. They lost trust. It's the same thing. The Martial slander the last 3-4 days has been absolutely ridiculous. I'm not Martial's biggest fan, but the dude is a backup striker. He's not the reason why we are where we are right now. Man United should have sold him like 3 years ago. The guy wanted to leave. He's like, I want to go to Sevilla. I want to bounce out of here. But they gave him those high-ass wages, and the club haven't been able to sell him since. So you can't really blame him. So I think they just attack his character every single time for no reason.
Because the Simon Paul says, mentality monsters. I was in Curtis Shaw TV earlier. You're shameless. Listen, man, we're here, man. We're outside in everyone's channels, man. We're praying on everyone's downfalls, but we're here. But Minna, I mean, it's a big like day for Ten Hag. I felt like he was a bit rattled today in the press conference, a little bit kind of like, woken up and that, but he was defiant as well. You can be rattled, but you can also be defiant. But you know what I mean? Like, did you feel like he's on track? What did you make of today? Like, just in general, like, mad day today.
Firstly, yeah, the Samuel Luckhurst thing, good. Shame. I don't feel bad for them. When I write articles, I've written a lot of articles for the Athletic, for Versus, etc. If you're writing about a club, you have to, or not even just a club. If you're writing about another person, you have to reach out for a statement. Whether or not they replied to you is basic journalism 101. So the fact that they ran with stories that they got from their leakers, I don't even think is actually people leaking it. If I'm being honest, I genuinely think that Samuel Luckhurst is just making shit up. But if you're writing stuff, United have every right to ban them from a press conference because they're not coming to them to clarify a story. Essentially, that's what it is. It's a story. But from the press conference today, yeah, I think Ten Hag is rattled. And if you know me, I'm very much, I want the manager to succeed. I don't want player power to win. You don't know where I stand on that. But today he seems very rattled and he still seems reluctant to criticize his players in the press. He was asked a specific question about Rashford. He kind of dodged it. and went on to talk about, you know, people playing 3 games in 6 days and how people are fatigued. He was asked about Rashford not tracking back. And he just basically avoided that part of the question and just said, you know, the players, you know, fatigue comes in. Rashford hasn't played 3 games in 6 days. He's not part of the people that have played 3 games in 6 days. So I didn't just answer. People are going to feel like he's protecting Rashford. And I was talking about it earlier today. I feel like Rashford is the poster child for Manchester United. You know, Manchester born and bred, academy product. You know, he scored on his debut. Kind of, you know, when they look at academy kids, when academy kids look at players for Man United, they don't look at, you know, wanting to be like Van Persie or Rooney, even though they're great strikers. They probably look at Rashford because Rashford literally started from the bottom like them.
Facts.
So Rashford, for me, is always going to be protected by Manchester United. This is why every news outlet is dragging Martial through the mud. I feel sorry for him. I actually feel sorry for Martial because he didn't want to be here. They couldn't offload him. He had a poor loan spell with Sevilla, came back. He scored in 2 games this season so far that he's played. He's not been picked, even though this is the most fit he's been probably in the last couple of years. Last year, he wasn't picked that much, injury problems. And now the press is just running with it. They are just running with it. Samuel Luckhurst wrote a piece, opinion piece after the whole ban. Somehow he included something about Martial in it. He's firing shots at Ten Hag, banning him from the press conference, but somehow he mentions Martial. It's safe to say that the likes of Pogba and that ain't there anymore. So the next best thing is another non-English player. If we're being honest, that's who the media is going to drag. The only people I've seen criticize Rashford is probably Roy Keane and Gary Neville. They've had something to say, but they're United like through and through. They could talk about they could talk shit about any player. They're not like these journalists that are going to protect him. Not that I'm saying that Rashford deserves to be like thrown to the mud, but I just think it's unfair on Martial.
You know, 100%, man. Oh, there's an echo. I think, can someone hear that? Yeah, I think it's gone now. And Knowledge, big up to Knowledge, man. He's always supporting the channel. So, Saeed, there are people who think Martial is a leak. The fan base have 0 brain cells. Why would he be the leak to people who always slander him? Yeah, you've got to understand, is there something for you to gain in this? You know what I mean? And Martial has never gained anything out of this. So I wouldn't believe it would be Martial. I don't think it's Varane, you know what I mean? But it is apparently 2 players that are in the squad. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So I don't know personally who it is, you know what I mean? But I do know what was said today. It was 2 members of the squad. You know what I'm trying to say? But Ten Hag was defiant, man. Marcel, he did come out and he did say that everything's under control. But is it really under control, though? When, you know, it's easy to talk the talk there, but is he really kind of like feeling what he, you know, does he mean what he says?
Can I be honest with you? I haven't seen the presser. If you can outlay to me what it is exactly that he said, I think we can kind of get an understanding of where his squad is at the minute. But just like what Mina said, certain players like Martial, like Maguire, like Scott McTominay, they've been told from a previous window that they're not meant to be here. And the structure has then let them down and not been able to offload them. So they've failed Ten Hag to a degree by not being able to get these players off the books when they've been told that they're surplus to requirements. And then they've also let the football club down because the structure of the football club now can't get these players offloaded. So I can understand why there would be some sort of disarray within the dressing room when players that weren't meant to be called upon have now been called upon because of injuries of Ten Hag's players. And you just go through this cycle where how are you going to play for the shirt when you was told 4 months ago that you're surplus to requirements and consistently throughout the season. So you can see there's going to be some sort of grievances between players and things like that, you know. But I don't know. I haven't seen it today, so I don't want to talk too much on that, on specifically what he said. It's interesting that Minister that he might and you guys say that he might be rattled to a degree. I don't think my manager would ever get rattled, so I'm definitely looking forward to catch up and watch it. But I have seen the stuff about the journos getting banned, which is quite funny as well.
Brian, what are you thinking of the situation, man? I know you obviously kind of look towards these kind of stuff very closely, but you know what I think? Yeah, I think obviously it all comes down to results, man. You know what I mean? Now it's just basically, you know, tomorrow is a big game, man. You lose tomorrow, bro, the leagues are even going to come out even more, man. So I think tomorrow is a must-win game. If we draw, it does no good for Ten Hag, you know. It has to be a win tomorrow just to calm everything down, just to kind of give him some kind of alleviate a little bit of pressure away from him. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, can you guys hear me, first of all?
No, your mic's not on, though. Your mic's not on. Yeah. Your mic's not on. It's I don't know if you're using something else. Speak now. Just gonna get this super chat while you get your stuff sorted. While this fan base likes you, then you can do no wrong. But when they hate you, you can do nothing right. Sheep mindset. They can think for themselves. Wow, that's a strong comment there, Adam. What did you make of that comment there?
I think that's a very good comment because this is something that has annoyed me for years with Manchester United and the fan bases. Some players are judged on their good bits only, and some players are judged on their bad bits only. Like you have Rashford who does one good thing every once in a while, and this is the only thing that people will remember. And then you have Martial who does one bad thing in a game, and that's the only thing people will see and comment on for weeks and weeks. So this is something that I found very, very annoying. Like the Bruno thing, the high risk, high reward. That's a lot of nonsense. High risk. What is high risk? High risk is not a good thing.
Yeah, man.
It means it's risky.
No.
And what is high reward? One League Cup in 6 years. I think we need to reassess what reward is because I don't think that's it, to be honest. So I think that comment from, was it Knowledge? I think that's actually on the money, man. Really, really is. And it's so annoying because that's why you have, it happens in everything. It happens in fan bases, happens in politics. When you have one extreme reaction on one side, you automatically get the extreme reaction on the other side because things in life tends to want to balance themselves. So when you have extreme far left, you have extreme far right. And when you are too lenient and protective of a player, you'll have the same abuse coming the other way. And that happens for protecting players or abusing players, and everything in life tends to happen this way. Everything points towards balance. So when you have like this guy Lockhurst, no surprise that the fan base is in the state it is. He thinks he represents the school. It's a shocking state. It really is very, very bad, man. So yeah, Knowledge's comment is spot on. I agree with it very, very much so.
Big up to Brian. I think he's back now. Brian, are you there?
Is it working now?
No, is that coming from left ear for me?
Yeah.
Left ear?
Can you guys hear?
It was fine.
Yeah, left ear. Is it fine for you? I can only hear him through my left ear.
Yeah, it works.
You guys hear him?
I can hear him.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It only works in my left ear though. I wouldn't be able to hear you because I'm slightly. I can't really hear on my left ear, so I wouldn't be able to hear you properly.
How about now? Is it better now? I don't know what's going on.
No.
Okay, there we go.
Come
Sorry.
on, man. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. Oh, sorry. I wasn't ready for the show, but yeah. Just to respond to your earlier comment about what's going on in general. I think Ten Hag is under pressure. I think we all know that he's under a lot of pressure. And I don't know if it's necessarily if he loses tomorrow that he's going to get sacked or anything like that. I don't think Manchester United are in a frame of mind to sack the manager right now. I think the banning of the journalists kind of shows where at least the current people in place, what they're trying to do, that they want to try and give Ten Hag some backing and give him support and give him time. So that might change when Ineos comes in and Jim Ratcliffe comes in and, he maybe might not have the patience that is needed, right? Because he wants to get things walking as soon as possible in a certain direction. So Ten Hag has as much time as he makes for himself, in my opinion. I think if he loses tomorrow, I don't think much is going to change. But the club is in such a state of flux that it's hard to gauge what's going to happen. If he loses tomorrow, it's hard to say. But if Ineos comes in, it changes everything. So it's hard for me to say that tomorrow is a must-win game. I think what's more important is how the players perform. Do they run? Do they work hard? Do they do the basics? Yeah. If the players don't do that, then we are going to know for sure that it's almost pointless, right? In a sense, because if the players have given up on him completely, it's going to be very hard for even Sir Jim, whoever the new director of football is, to be like, all right, let's keep the manager, because it's hard. Like it happened with Potter at Chelsea. When the players don't back you, as much as I want to keep Ten Hag, I want Ten Hag to stay. I think he's a good coach. I think Manchester United ruined players and coaches. I think it's going to end up being a situation where, if the whole squad is like, hey, we don't want to play for this guy anymore, he's going to get chopped. And that's unfortunate, because that's a toxic club that still needs to be changed, regardless of if the manager stays or not. That kind of situation where players have control over decisions of whether the manager should stay long term has to change, whether you like Ten Hag or not.
You know what's mad? Yeah, someone said to me, I don't know, there's a comment here saying, should Ten Hag have done what he did in terms of banning certain journalists and whatnot? Did he need that? Did he need to set a precedent? Do you think they'll get the message, Minna? Do you think it will help him in terms of the pressure on him? Like, is it one of them situations where he had to do it? Like, Man United had to do that today? Because a lot of people saying dictatorship, it's not good for Ten Hag. Let people question him. There's nothing to hide. Do you get it? Like, you know, if there's no kind of situation happening with the leaks, then just tell people, innit? Do you reckon it should have went that way?
Yeah, firstly, it's not Ten Hag that banned him or banned the media. It's probably the director of communications. They've got a hierarchy when it comes to the media structure at Manchester United. From my experience, like I said, when it comes to writing articles, I've written articles about like football federations. When I'm writing about them, I have to reach out to them for a comment about what I'm writing about.
Okay.
If they don't reply, it's fine. I could just say in the article, you know, you reached out to this person, but you didn't get a response. But it's your due diligence as a journalist to do so. Now, because they're relying, I think, on leaks for the story, I think it makes the situation a bit different. Because it looks wrong. As a fan, you probably look at it and think, well, is Ten Hag and is Manchester United banning these journalists because what is being leaked is true? Are they afraid of the truth coming out? Or you could look at it at a different perspective and be like, well, they're banning them because, you know, they're spreading rumors or they're spreading lies. Now, the best thing that I think United could have done in all of it was to clear up the situation, but they're not going to, because again, it's just rumors, it's just leaks. There's not really any hard evidence. But it looks two ways. It looks like United are kind of blocking the freedom of speech when it comes to journalists. But then again, this is not freedom of speech. This is not their opinion that they're writing. This is them saying that they're getting information.
This is damaging. You're saying it's damaging. It is damaging.
It's damaging because this is them. This is the journalist saying they're getting information from an insider in the club, meaning someone in the club is breaking their contractual obligation to Manchester United. Because I'm pretty sure when you join, you know, like when you join the club.
But isn't it hearsay evidence though? Huh? Would that not be hearsay evidence? Would that not be hearsay evidence when you get a piece of information from someone? It's not necessarily groundbreaking journalism. It's obviously information that's been given to them. So let me just say, play devil's advocate here. Should United be kind of trying to find out who the leaks are rather than maybe focus on the journalists? Because for me, you got to be 100 guys, man.
You remember last year?
Hate this.
You remember last year when Ten Hag said they were clamping down on leaks?
Yeah.
What happened? United were performing, so there was no leaks.
I don't remember him saying that.
Do you guys remember last year he said that he was clamping down on leaks?
Yeah,
and everyone had this theory. It was around the Ronaldo time.
How many leaks did we have last year? There really weren't any because we were winning.
United were winning.
There weren't any.
There's not going to be leaks when the team's winning. The second that the team's losing, journalists are very well connected, especially when you spend your entire career covering one club. You build relations, whether their source might not even be a player.
The lady.
It could be a random person. It could be a cleaner. It could be a random person. It could be a data analyst at the club. It could be anyone that just has inside information to the club. That's it.
It's like the team sheets. I always think the team sheets, why do they get leaked out, man? They shouldn't be leaked out, man. Like whoever's leaking these team sheets out, they shouldn't be leaked out. Like because then you're giving
every club has this problem though. It's not just United.
Yeah,
it's just
everyone
has it.
Chelsea. But Madrid leaked their team news like 24 hours early these days. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Madrid extra had it. Bro, they had that shit. They had that shit posted like 24 hours early, bro, for Champions League.
That's how I know who to put in my FPL.
Oh yeah, that's true. Big up to Tariq, man. Tariq, appreciate it, man. Big up, lads. Obviously, women as well. I think you guys need to clean house for a change instead of sacking Erik ten Hag. Special shout out to Minna. Big up to Tariq. Minna got a fan here. I will get back to that super chat. Big up to Knowledge against. I don't think he goes if we lose next game. However, his statement that he can't play Ajax ball while buying Ajax players creates a division in fan support. That's why what's made me fully say Erik ten Hag out. Let me go back to the first point though. The first point was very, very good from Tariq in terms of what did he say again?
Clean house.
Clean house for Jay Stead, second manager. We know it's not a possibility though. It's not logical. It can't really happen though. Let's be honest. Like managers always go before a player, like players. We all want that. Everybody wants these players to go, but it's not going to happen, is it? Because everybody has favorites. Everybody doesn't want certain players out. If I say now every single player goes and we have a clean start, no, but I like Bruno. I like that player. Yeah. No, we need a full clear out. Everybody has favorites, and that's the problem with United fans. What is it? Is it player power does exist? Player power exists and we need to get them out? Or is it a situation of, you know what, the culture needs to change, the clean out? You know, when you say clean out, look at Arteta. That is a clean out. Everybody's gone. Only Aubameyang. Remember Aubameyang? Everybody. In that squad, there's only El Neni, and I think it's only... Who else is there from Emery's squad? Emery.
They are the academy players, I think we said.
Yeah, the academy, Smith Rowe and Saka. Yeah. So if you want to clear out, guys, you have to have a clear out. That's all I'm saying.
Can I say just something on that though, Said? I think there's a balance to that, like what was just said before. You know, and you can meet balance within a clear out. So even though the clear out you're saying is a 30-man clear out, you could balance that to maybe an 8 or 10 or 9-man clear out, especially in this early process. Arsenal weren't able to get rid of the whole 30-man squad in one window or 2 windows. It took a process of 3 or 4 windows. That means we have to see Ten Hag through his process for about 3 or 4 more windows. You know, and right now, to balance that clear out, the balance should be the players that Ten Hag said he originally wanted out. Maguire, Scott McTominay, Fred, which is already gone. Martial was meant to go from that list as a fan base. We all said that. Wan-Bissaka or Delo, but okay, Ten Hag has made Delo and has thrown his hat on that on Delo, so that could be considered a Ten Hag player. Same with Rashford and Bruno, but there's about 8 players there, Evans as well. That are considered as the early part of the clear out and bringing balance to get into a stage where you have 30 players gone. I think that's a clear avenue. Our manager's trying to do that. He's been trying to do that for the longest.
Yeah, but you know what, Marcel, if I ask you, and like if you answer honestly, do you believe that if we remove those players and we keep Shaw, Rashford, Bruno, the bullshit will stop? Because I don't believe it will.
Yes, you just think of it. You just named me.
Because if you ask me,
because Adam,
I would remove those 3 players and keep the others if I was thinking only about like toxicity. I think those 3 are way more powerful than the rest combined. And
I'm thinking about Adam. I'm thinking about Adam's style of football and evolving us from the last 2 or 3 counter-attacking managers that we've had to progressive football type footballers. And if you get rid of Scott McTominay, counter-attacking footballer, Maguire, counter-attacking footballer, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Martial to a degree. If you get rid of all these players and clear them out, and then Ten Hag got the opportunity to get new players within his structure, you're seeing a whole different thing. Luke Shaw can play within this. Luke Shaw can play within this passing style. Again, Bruno and Rashi, for me, the jury's still out on them, especially Rashi. I think Rashi might be sold.
That's why you're not being honest, because everyone could play with the ball except for Rashford and Bruno. I'm not talking preferences here. I think those 2. I think Rashford and Bruno are the least suited to playing with the ball, with patience, with composure. I think they are more suited for something else, and that's fine. But if you want to play with the ball, if you have to pick between Martial and Rashford, you keep Martial. If you want to play counter-attack football, you pick Rashford, fair enough. If you want to play with the ball, you keep Donny van de Beek, for example, and you remove Bruno. It just depends. But if you want to play like Ten Hag used to play before, the players you said that need to stay are the ones that need to leave, in my opinion.
You named 3 footballers there, Adam. Luke Shaw, I think we're both agreeing on, could maybe stay and has a use case within.
I think he's good.
He's good enough. But Bruno and Rashi, I think the jury's out of him. But that's only one footballer. I've named you, and that's one footballer in Bruno that I'm saying I like, or like Said was trying to say that we have a disparity on. There's so many fans that think he should stay or go. But that's only one footballer out of 30-man squad, Adam. Then I've just named you Maguire, Scott, Wan-Bissaka, Pelestri to a degree. That's not good enough. Martial, I've just named you about 5 or 6, 7 footballers. And I'm saying need to go before you put Bruno and Rashi on that list. Then you'll see a completely different dynamic.
The starting point was the political power problem we have within the club and the leagues. And you said to clear out, if you remove those players and you keep Bruno, Rashford and Shaw, it will stop. This is where I disagree. Now, if you move to the conversation to style of play, I still disagree, but for different reasons. But the problem I have with Rashford and Shaw and Bruno is that there are political problems just as much as footballing problems to me. This is the thing that really annoys me with that.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. In terms of style of play, we're playing through Bruno and Rashford. That will create a political problem.
Are we really though? Because Marcus Rashford was the deepest outfield player from the front 6 on Saturday. He was deeper than McTominay, Kobe Manu, Bruno, Garnacho, and Højlund. So are we really playing through them? Like, we
No,
have to
because
be
he's not
honest.
just because he's not informed doesn't mean we're not playing through him as well.
We're not
You know,
playing
like
him. No, we shifted him to the right wing when he hates playing. So we're not playing to his strengths, obviously.
no, but
But
we're
that's
still
a that's a
playing that
that's a
method.
problem you have in the squad then, because you have a player like Marcus Rashford that's earning over 350k a week, that clearly wants to play on the left side, and the coach has to shoehorn him somewhere into the team
Exactly.
because he's
Shoehorn
such a
him,
big
yeah.
name.
That's a different. But we're not playing through Marcus Rashford right now. We're not playing through
Yeah,
anyone
but
right
we're,
now.
we're technically playing through him because
He's
we have
still-
no
it's-
playable
it's still a
football.
We are not
problem.
playing. Well, this structure, we are not playing through anyone right now. We have no midfield. We have no attack.
So
we have
why
no
play him
defense
then?
right
Why play him then? Why play him then?
Because he doesn't rate Anthony. Because he looks on our right hand side. He's like Anthony probably doesn't rate him anymore. Palestri.
Nah.
If I'm being honest,
rate-
right, the reason why he's playing Rashford on the right is because he's done the same thing to several players, right, where he gives them ample opportunity to prove him wrong, right, before
Yeah.
he decides, okay, I'm done with you and I'm going to sell you. That's what happened to Jadon Sancho this season. It's happened to other players that he wanted to sell in the past. Rashford is the
Maguire.
same thing. Maguire. Right now it's Rashford. He's giving Rashford every single opportunity to prove I'm good enough to play under Ten Hag. And if at the end of the season Ten Hag is still in charge, don't be surprised if Ten Hag says, listen, if you guys want to sell Rashford, I'm completely fine with it because he's let me down several times. Like, that's the kind of coach Ten Hag is. He's giving him enough opportunities and Rashford is not taking it.
The reason
You
why I
know my
disagree
problem
with
as well.
Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna read the super chat because this is a good point here. How are you surprised the coach has fallen out with 5 different players in 18 months and bench players for his favourites? Eric Ten Hag's the top shelf bum, and there's one more here saying, I don't think it's the players leaking stuff. I think it's the players telling their friends and family stuff and they leak it. How did Maguire's mum get access to journals to defend him? Think about it. I think it's a collective, you know, when you think about it. Like when things get leaked out, it's leaking out from all angles. It's not just one certain individual. It could be the brother. Remember the brother when it was meant to go to PSG, or there was talks about, you know, his PSG move, and then that was just to drive up Man United to get a bigger bid. So there are things working in the works and whatnot. Marcel, I want to come up to you though. Is it a good point though that we can suggest though? Rashford, when you actually look at him, the fact that we are shoehorning him in here for the sake of it does cause friction within the players. So they're going to feel disgruntled and therefore they'll leak stuff out. I'm not saying it's the right thing, by the way, but I'm just saying that is a byproduct of the environment that Ten Hag has caused, that there's favourites in the team. You know, Sancho said it in a statement. Whether you like it or not, he was a scapegoat. He was. Let's be honest.
I don't know if I agree with that, Saeed. I don't think Sancho was an scapegoat.
Nemanja Matic just came out yesterday and talked about Jadon Sancho showing up late to training like 85 times in the season.
By the way, that's not yesterday. By the way, that's not yesterday.
I know it
that
came
was
out a
2
couple
years
years
ago.
ago. But Sancho has a history of every football club that he's been to that he does not hold up to training standards.
Okay.
On time.
Okay. Look, I'm just giving you an example of do you see where Sancho and these guys are coming from when they say they're made to feel like a scapegoat because there are certain favourites in the team? Just use the ideology, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Sancho is true and is whatever he's saying. I'm just saying look from the ideology of what he said, and do you now see things to what it is right now in terms of the favourites right now? Can you see that? Can you see that? Yes or no?
Because you know what, Saeed? I think Sancho is a bum, and I think he should be dropped. But I can see where he's coming from. Because that's
what I'm saying. That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
I don't like lack of discipline. I stand with the manager on the Sancho thing. I don't like undisciplined and like that sort of behavior. But evidence so far is showing us that there is inconsistency in the treatment of the players by the manager. And look, people can react to discipline, but they don't react to unfairness. This is something that people don't cope well. So I hear it, to be honest. He's still play.
Now let's be
real.
Who would be
the reason why I don't agree with it, Saeed? Oh no, go on, Greg.
Who would be upset that Rashford is starting over him? Palestri. What has he proven? Garnacho's starting pretty much every game now. Martial probably doesn't care about Rashford starting because they're really close friends. Hoyland starts every match. We have no forwards. There's
no. But the thing is, though, it's about principle. It's about principle. Listen, you know me.
Who's upset? Though?
I hate this idea. You know what I don't like here about United fans here? It's but who? No, it's about principle,
Saeed,
my friend.
Saeed,
in the forward position, I understand why Varane would be upset. Maybe I understand why Varane's upset over maybe the Johnny Evans. But the forwards, we have no forwards at the football club that are healthy right now. It's literally 4 or 5 forwards.
Saeed,
and 3 have to start.
It's a balance though. It's a balance though. Because
go on. There you go.
Think about it, right? Rashford, if we're all being fair, I'm not his biggest fan, but he had a good season last season. He carried Manchester United for large parts of last season.
Yeah.
It's a trust thing. If you're you performed high, and immediately like you have one bad game, two bad games, you're triggered, whatever, the coach drops you and says you're not going to play because you're performing poorly. It's not like as if we have another player that can come in and match what Marcus Rashford did last season. We don't. I agree, Rashford should be dropped, right, from my own perspective. But if you look at it from Ten Hag's perspective, he has a player that was his star last season, and he's out of form. It's a tough balance, because if you drop him on the bench, is that going to improve his form, or is that going to just send him way down, being more in bad form, being upset with himself? He wants him to play himself out of form, and it might not work. Like, I agree, it might not work. Like, Rashford might completely fail this and completely keep being shit for the rest of the season. But at some point, he's saying, okay, Rashford, I'm giving you the chance to play yourself into form. If it doesn't work, that's on Ten Hag. I completely agree with that. But he has showed from last season, I'm giving him trust because of what you did for me last season. Everybody else in the squad, no other attacker has that cred. Like, I'm not even Rashford's biggest fan, but no other attacker, who is it, Anthony, Palestri, Garnacho, even Sancho doesn't have that cred. He hasn't performed in a Manchester United shirt. Like,
ever.
No, but like, for example, I agree to some extent, but Varane was absolutely brilliant last season. Him and Martinez, and we had a very good defense, and De Gea got as many clean sheets as he did because of those two centre halves. So why doesn't Varane have the credit that Rashford? And we're talking about Varane, and we're talking about Rashford. Like, Rashford,
but the difference is Varane is not being a baby about it like Sancho did. Like, this is what happens. Like, Varane is at least being a professional about it. Varane is better than Maguire, and I believe before the end of the season, if Martinez comes back, Varane will get back his spot with Martinez. That's one at least situation I'm not that worried about, if Varane is still at the club in January. But with the whole Rashford situation, like, even Sancho, we've heard that he doesn't even want to play on the right. Like, he was so upset about having, like, we signed him to play on the right.
Because you know why?
Yeah.
Now, but the thing is, though, you got to remember that Sancho this summer was very, very pissed off because the manager used him in the central role. And they all of a sudden abandoned the central role to accommodate Rashford, who isn't a striker, and then play him in the central role. Do you see where there's a lot of disgruntledness in terms of people's feelings in the squad? Listen, I'm not, again, excusing people's behavior, but I'm just telling you what is happening right now. I'm just giving you the facts. Sancho was used in the summer in the central role. He then abandons it to put Rashford up front. Then it's accommodate Rashford all the time. Even when it's bad form, accommodate Rashford. And it's, by the way, it's not only just him. Again, it's Varane now, who Evans is coming into the club as a short-term role. All of a sudden, you're getting displaced by Evans in a Manchester derby when you know you're the best defender. Exactly. These are the actions of the manager. This is why I'm saying the manager's decisions and his inconsistencies have led to a lot of disgruntled behavior within the squad. Should there be leaks? No. Should there be player power? No. All I'm saying to you, they are the facts, and that's all I'm saying to you. Do you see what I mean? I'm going to get Minna. Let me get Minna's opinion on that in terms of what I've just said as well.
No, about the point about, if it's not Rashford, then who else? I'm sorry, I'd rather have an academy kid. I'd rather have an academy kid play that will give you at least discipline on the pitch than to be like, oh, but who else is going to play? You're right. Manchester United, they don't really have the pick of the bunch right now. It's crazy that we spent 150 million on right wingers and we still need a right winger. But for me, it's like one thing I have. Ten Hag has flaws in this, but also let me just be devil's advocate, because I remember, if you don't remember the interview Rashford did with Gary Neville, and he was talking about playing up top. He was talking about playing on the left, the right. He said that playing on the right was the most difficult out of all of the places when he plays out of position, because he has to adjust his positioning. He has to change his running style, etc. To me, that just sounded like as an excuse so that a manager doesn't play him there in the future. And the way that I see it right now is Ten Hag likes, clearly, players that can play in different positions. He plays Bruno as a holding midfielder sometimes. He plays him as a 10. He plays him on the right. He plays Luke Shaw as a left back. He plays him at centre back. Lindelof has played right back, left back, and centre back this season. Clearly, Ten Hag wants players, especially when your squad is quite thin, to be able to play across different places. And I think with Marcus Rashford, it's just a cop-out. There's so much things you can do on the pitch, but not tracking back, that's a lame excuse. There's no excuse to be like, oh, I'm playing out of position. But it's not like the playing out of position is stopping you from tracking back. It's not like just because there's no one else to play there. I would honestly give me a 17, 18-year-old that they're going to give you heart and desire and absolutely everything on the pitch. But the thing is, Marcus Rashford, let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. he's not going to get dropped. He is the poster boy for Manchester United. He is the poster boy for Manchester United. Not just that, he's probably the biggest shirt seller, I'm assuming, for Manchester United as well, especially since Ronaldo has gone. I said it earlier before, he's the kind of, you know, the Manchester born and bred, he's the perfect example of succeeding at Manchester United, and they probably want to produce more like that from the academy. Now, the Jadon Sancho thing, Saeed, you already know where I stand on that. You already know where I stand with the Jadon Sancho thing. I think, you know, the way that Sancho has handled it is not good. And this whole scapegoat, I think he's using himself as a scapegoat. I've already said it. I think Jadon Sancho is using himself as a scapegoat, trying to get pity from other people. Yes, it could be perceived as the manager having favorites. But what now? Now that Anthony has been dropped, where's the favorites for his players? Where's the players that Ten Hag has brought in? Højlund, Amrabat, dropped from starting lineup. Where's the favoritism now that Sancho was talking about? Where I think Jadon Sancho has just been unprofessional in that entire situation. And I think, and I said this before, I said it ages ago as well, the second that this kind of turned left with Jadon Sancho, United had to win games. Otherwise, people would start turning on the manager. And essentially, that's what's happening. The whole Varane situation is wild. Because I don't know how you say miskeen in English, but Varane seems like a miskeen to me. And he don't seem like a guy that bothers anybody.
Yeah, he's a humble guy, man. This super chat here from Knowledge says Marcel Eric Ten Hag came in and did the same thing Ollie did, but you're talking about structure. That's the problem with United fans. You ignore the facts and hoping for something the coach has never known. It's a good point there.
I don't understand the comments.
What? Yeah. How do you say it's a good point, Said? What did Ole do that Eric Ten Hag's done? Nothing, or not nothing. They're within the same.
Is it any different than football? Is it any football?
I mean, why do people like acting like as if last season didn't happen? Like I don't understand it. Last season happened. Manchester United played good football in certain spells.
So till when? Till February, March?
But like I said, it wasn't perfect. But it was never going to be perfect because there's too many players in this squad that shouldn't be here. Yeah. There's a point I've been trying to kind of make to fans on Twitter in regards to, I don't know if a lot of fans remember when Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester United. There were a lot of like interviews and stuff about the culture he joined when he joined Manchester United. They kicked the hell out of him in training to get him to perform to a certain standard. The difference with Manchester United now is that we don't have those players that are upholding that standard. So when you have players come in as new signings, who are they looking to as the standard? Luke Shaw, Rashford, like. There's no standard. There's nobody here that is going to be like, okay, I've won a Premier League, I've won a Champions League. Obviously, we signed Varane, obviously, but they didn't do it at Manchester United. So there's no basis for players to come in and be like, okay, let's do this. The coach has to set that. And the hierarchy above him has to set that. Unfortunately, the coach doesn't have that backing because the people behind him at Manchester United are clueless. They have never won a Premier League. The people above him in hierarchy haven't won titles. Like, I don't know if people understand this. Like, I get the antagonism and dislike for Ten Hag and the football we're playing right now. But I can guarantee you sack him, Saeed, in a year's time, will be having the same conversation again.
The thing is, no, hold on a minute. We're not going to have the same discussion. You know why we're not going to have the same discussion? Because apparently, hold on a minute. Because apparently, Jim Ratcliffe is going to fix this. So hold on a minute. Everybody here is saying Jim Ratcliffe is the guy. He's a savior.
No, but you know what?
No, but let me finish a minute. Let me finish. Because this is what I don't like about United fans. They're saying, oh, but it's going to be the same situation here. But then in 1 minute, it's telling me, be happy. Because you know why? Football structure is going to come. So I'm using the same thing that you're saying to me and be happy and da-da-da-da.
It's a new variable, though. That's a variable. That's a variable. It's a variable that we've not encountered before. So you have to take account for that.
No. Hold on a minute. But I'm encountering facts. My thing is based on facts. Ten Hag has proven that he has no style of play, and right now he is failing at his job. I'm dealing with facts. So if you're not dealing with facts, then I'm dealing with facts right now. Then, and it's simple. Jim Ratcliffe is coming next week. He's going to go sign a new manager, and he is going to fix what is going on because that's what the fan base is telling me right now. So I can't win. I can't win then. So if you're saying to me that no manager's going to fix this, well, apparently you lot are telling me that Jim Ratcliffe's going to come through the door and he's going to build football in structure. So what hope do you want to give me? What
a structure gives a hope to everything else that Manchester United can get better. That's all the structure is doing. Because right now things stay the way they are with recruitments, with everything in regards to the club. Can you tell me if it's going to get better? It's not. It's going to stay the same or get worse. So with Rafley coming in,
God.
we don't know, but we don't know because I've never said that Rafley is going to fix everything because I don't know.
No,
I
but
don't
you were
know.
giving no, but when I was like listening to your tweets and that, you were
Yeah.
very optimistic. Yeah, when I said
Yeah.
no, but when I called it out and said, why is everyone getting gassed about Jim Ratcliffe? Like all of a sudden, Man United is going to change with 25%. Then, yeah, a lot of Man United fans were like, stop being negative. You're going to see football structure. So I'm saying right now, Jim Ratcliffe is going to bring in a new manager, and he is going to be able to identify a manager that will take us forward with football structure. How is it not fair for me to say that? Do you see what I'm
Um,
saying, guys? Or am I
yes,
just, am I just
It's down
capping?
to his decisions though. If he comes in and chooses a director of football, a new technical director, a new recruitment
It
team, he
can work.
revamps. If
And
he
it can
does
work.
all this, there's a possibility. Yes, of course.
I'm going to run with that then. I'm going to run with that possibility then. I'm going to run with that
It's a new
possibility.
variable. We don't know if he comes in and he fails. Like that can happen, but we
Well,
don't know.
so Saeed, you're running with the possibility that the Jim Radcliffe regime is going to bring in the new structure with the new manager, but that new manager then has to whittle out all of Ten Hag's old players, all of Jose
yes,
Mourinho's old
and you want
players,
that, and you
all
want
of
that to happen? Yes or no?
all.
Yes
Yeah,
or no?
no,
You want
hold
that
on,
to
no,
happen?
yeah, no, I haven't
Okay.
finished. So all of Ole's players, all of Mourinho's players,
Yes.
and all of Ten Hag's players. This new structure.
Yes.
How many
Yes.
more years down the road until that all happens?
No, no, you said 3 or 4 years. No, no,
Hold
hold on
on,
a minute, hold on a minute.
Can
No,
I
no, no,
finish
no, no,
it?
no, 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 no.
He
No,
said
no,
three
no,
or
no, no.
four.
We're
He
not
said
gonna
three
do
or
this.
four.
No, no,
He
this is
said
what I'm
three or
saying.
four.
This
He
is
said three
where
or
you
four
lot are
windows.
taking a mic. You just said before 3 or 4 years. I'm willing to wait under Ten Hag. So why can't I wait 3 or 4 years now under Sir Jim Ratcliffe? Why can't I wait?
You can.
okay,
He said
You
windows.
okay,
can.
okay.
He
Can I
didn't
finish?
say
Can I
years.
finish, Griggs? Okay, no
Yeah, let
problem.
me finish.
No
What is
problem.
this?
No problem. No problem. So you're right. No problem. Let's go down that route then. No problem. Okay.
Okay
So,
then.
but my route is. Let me just. I'll lay you to my route. My route is we're already 1 year into a process, and this manager
Without
has
footballing
shown us
structure.
success. Can I finish? Can I finish? So we're already one
Okay.
year into a process without structure, and our manager has delivered us trophies. So why can't we trust him with a structure now and let him finish his good work? He's been doing great work, getting rid of deadwood, and he's trying to continue to get rid of deadwood. Why can't we let him complete? Why can't we let him complete the job of getting rid of the deadwood, and now with a structure, adding in Premier League proven talent
That
or talent that has the caliber to survive in this league because his talent ID, a lot of people are saying, I don't know yet because it's too early to judge, but a lot of people are saying his talent ID is poor. So now if he has the structure and the backing, like he did when he was successful at Ajax, why can't we foresee that process in another 2 or 3 years? Because your process, by the way, is not going to be 3 or 4 years. Yours is going to be like 5 or 6 years because there's players on big contracts and there's all of Ten Hag's players on
the
big
same
contracts.
logic. No, no, no. Don't do that,
I
Marcel.
know
Don't
what?
be
I think there's a
disingenuous.
contradiction in
Don't be
what's going on.
disingenuous. It's the same logic. It's the same logic with a new
It's not.
manager and a new structure. That's all it is.
I don't think the
No, they've
contract
got
has
lives. They've got lives. You can't just get rid of players on that have just come on big 4 or 5 year contracts the next year. We're gonna have the same predicament that we had before. This is
I think
this
there's
is
a contradiction in what you said. You
No,
said
no, Marcel. Now,
Hey,
hold
Marcel's
on a
the
minute.
best. He's
Marcel,
actually
you're
the best
killing me now.
person.
Now they got lives, yeah? But before, when you were talking about it, like, it's, you know what? We have to get rid of these players. Bro, I don't care if they got lives, but we need to get rid of them.
Oh
And
man.
a proper footballing structure will say, get rid of these players, whether they're on big contracts or not. If we lose money, we lose money. But should be the aim of the new footballing culture. I'm going to read the super chat here, Hakeem. I was on Everton outside with Sancho, but not. But now I'm realizing he's just a bad man manager. Everton had issues. You can't make big decisions and not get results. And then one more says here, Marcel just wants Eric Ten Hag to be here forever. He's lost. Minna, you're gonna say something there, Minna. Minna, you're
Nah,
gonna say
nah,
something before
Marcel
that.
is Marcel is so funny, man. Don't ever change.
Bro, Marcel's funny,
He's
man. I
a
love
class,
Marcel, man. I love him, man.
But what I was gonna
Come on.
say about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, like, I'm not gonna lie, I got no faith in him. But the reason I have no faith in him is not because of all these promises he's making. It's because he signed Gautier at Nice. That's all I have to say. Like, if you don't know what's happening with Gautier right now, for me, and he knew about that, he must have known about that. For me, I'm not impressed. But the whole idea of building a sporting structure, I understand because the reports have said that when his team come in, they kind of will sign players that are in line with the way that they want to play football, which means no matter what manager comes and goes, you'll play the same style of football because it's essentially the structure of the club. As far as I'm concerned, as long as the Glazers are still there, and I don't buy this whole 25%. But the Glazers are still there. They still have involvement. They still have a say. They're the ones that, refused to sell Jadon Sancho in the summer when Ten Hag wanted to sell him. Before Spurs brought Maddison, they were sniffing around Jadon Sancho, and they decided not to do that. They refused to let him do that. So for me, as long as the Glazers are involved, and they're running it as a business, at the end of the day, the most important thing is revenue. Like, making money for them is the most important thing. And for the last 10 years, they've seen that United can still make money without being at the top. Like, they've seen it. United we've won 4 trophies in 10 years, and what's that? 2 Carabao Cups, FA Cup and Europa League. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we've won in the last 10 years. When we last won the Premier League, I'm not even gonna say how old I was, because that's gonna give away my age. But it's been a long time.
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
But, big up to Knowledge. He says here, I'm replying to Marcel. He said earlier that to get rid of the players and give Erik ten Hag more players, then we'll see his structure. He doesn't have one. Stop dreaming. He said he can't play Ajax ball. So what style would he create? This is another thing as well. I don't know what he's creating as well. If he can't do it with players that you brought in, i.e. the guys that he's brought in right now, we're talking about another 400 million that he's going to bring in. You know what I mean? What is his talent ID? What is the football he's trying to bring in? You can see Eddie Howe with players that probably aren't the caliber that he wants to bring in with the money, but still does it on players that are literally, you wouldn't even put into Man United CD team, but still he schools us with their C and D team. Why is that, Marcel? Can you explain that, by the way? Is that just random? Is that just,
So I think Ten Hag, as firstly, we've improved in our build up and in our turnovers, and I think the issue in between that is the midfield. So the structure of in which we try and get the ball from the forward line, from the opposition's half, and the way that we build up into the midfield and forward areas is clearly the strengths within our team throughout this season. Anyway, of course, injuries has caused the disarray in terms of us having a regular structure in midfield and in the forward line and everywhere in the pitch, really. So you're not seeing any consistency. Like, how many times has he played someone like Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount? Maybe like 3 games at max. It's not been 5-10 games where you can start to see patterns and build up structures. So that's why a lot of us are saying, oh, we haven't seen any sort of consistency of patterns. I think it was last season we had spells of good football within the 4-2-3-1 structure. I think the culture at Newcastle and the culture at Manchester United are 2 different types of cultures, ours being extremely toxic. So players are able to take on the information from Eddie Howe because of the culture within that club. We have a regular culture.
What you're doing, Marcel, is giving excuses to the players. You know that, by the way. What you're doing right there, you're giving excuses to the players.
It's a truth, though. It's a fact, isn't it? At the same time, we've seen.
Does anyone agree with that, by the way?
We heard about last season about training times and them complaining about the training times. We've seen Mourinho talk about how the players are down tools in. We've seen it before. This culture of these same types of players.
I think, I would answer that a little differently in the sense that the profile of players Manchester United have do not suit a team that should be in top 4, if you ask me. We have some big names, but they're just not suited to playing high-level football, right? Consistently anyway, right? Because, okay, let's look at the defense. Compare our defense to, let's say, Liverpool or even Chelsea. Our defense is not that good. The centre-backs we have only one good left-sided centre-back that's currently injured. And he was probably one of our best players last season. Okay. Manchester United going into this season, you need to sign another centre-back. We don't do it. So what ends up happening? The defense regresses because even we needed to do a clear-out of the defense. We didn't do a clear-out. Now the defense is worse because our best player is injured. All right. We're going to the midfield. The midfield is supposed to be the backbone of any team. We signed Mason Mount, whether people rate him or not. He wasn't supposed to be the only signing. We spent the whole summer chasing Amrabat. Clearly didn't have any money. The only reason why we got him was because we got him on loan. Manchester United are signing Amrabat on loan. I mean, that should tell you everything in regards to the kind of recruitment we're doing.
But he still wanted him. He wanted
him because he had no one else. Because there was we didn't even have money to buy a centre back. We had to sell academy players for 900k or 900 whatever in order to afford buying Amrabat.
You know what? To be honest,
It's ridiculous.
the Amrabat position is more important than the Mason Mount position. So if you had to take 60 million to spend, you don't spend it on Mount, you spend it on an upgrade on Amrabat. And when
that'll be in the Casemiro position. This is the problem you have, right? Because you've already spent 70 million on Casemiro or whatever it was.
Which is a disgrace, by the way, and I said that.
Which is, I agree. But the problem is that the recruitment team above him is going to be looking at, listen, we've already bought Casemiro. He's the best defensive midfielder in the world for lots of money. We're not going to spend another 60 million on another defensive midfielder. That's ridiculous. You have to use this money elsewhere, right? Bruno Fernandes doesn't have any cover. We've not had any cover for Bruno Fernandes for the last 3 seasons or 4 seasons that he's been here. So he's looking at it.
Every time we had a cover for Bruno, that cover didn't play, ever.
Donny van der Beek has proven not to be very good, and clearly he wants to leave at this point.
Donny van der Beek hasn't been given a proper chance ever.
Donny van der Beek sucks.
And that's under Ole, by the way, Adam. That's not 10 or 12. That's Ole's fault for starting
Donny
that
van der
culture.
Beek sucks.
There's certain players that just don't suit the Premier League, and Donny van der Beek is one of them. He's not physically robust enough.
Mata as well was there when we had Bruno.
Mata
played alongside Bruno.
At that point his legs had gone anyway. But my point still stands.
There's always a reasoning. There's always something.
Yes, but am I the only one that watched Juan Mata whenever he played? He had no legs. He couldn't run. Like, he was a good player. Like, I love Juan Mata, but he couldn't run. Like, it was clear he couldn't press, and there was a reason why he wasn't used. And funny enough, with the no legs that Mata has, he actually runs more than Donny van der Beek, which is hilarious to me. But regardless, though, my point is, I know people are unhappy with the way the team is playing. The quality of the club is shit.
Very unhappy.
The players is shit.
Yes.
The players we have are crap. I don't know how else to say this for people to understand.
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
Let me finish. I don't think sometimes what you're doing is you're stressing on the point, of the players that he's brought in are not good enough. Amrabat is not shit. People are thinking Amrabat is rubbish. He brought him. He knows his profile. He knows what he's about, But when you look at that midfield there, it's a detriment to any midfield that plays in that position. Look at the midfielder. Look at the 6 that plays in there. Look at Amrabat. Look at Kobe Mino, the game at Newcastle. He wasn't very functional in that game. Look at Casemiro in that 6th role. It's an absolute walking disaster. Ten Hag structurally, when you look at the team now, it's not cohesive for anybody to thrive in. We are scoring goals, individual brilliance. Look at the Garnacho goal. Look at the Bruno Fernandes goal. Everything right now, there's no team goals. There's no structure to our play. It is only individual brilliance. Right now, we're not playing as a team. I don't see playing out from the back. I don't see what turnovers. And we're slow as hell. Our transition right now is slow as hell. Turnovers. I'm sorry, Mark, I don't know what you're watching.
It's
I
pointless.
really don't know what you're watching.
It's pointless having Ten Hag if you're not going to have the players that suit his style. I don't know if how many people watched Ajax in his last few seasons. One of the strengths of Ten Hag's sides is the fact that his players were so flexible. Like, they could play football in any part of the pitch. That's not Manchester United. It's just not. Like, people don't want to hear this until Ten Hag gets sacked, he goes to another club that suits his style, and he's going to look good. It happened with Emery at Arsenal. I don't know why people can't just accept it. You don't have to trash the manager because you think he's shit. The players we have don't suit his football. He can go elsewhere.
So would you trust him? Would you trust him?
I like that Emery point, though. I like that Emery point. What is Ten Hag? What is Ten Hag, like, how Emery just wasn't the right fit for Arsenal?
He was always a good manager. It was a good manager before.
I think Arsenal fans would agree. Emery might be a good manager, but he was never fit for that Arsenal job. His football philosophy, his management, the way he spoke, just never fit that kind of club. What if Ten Hag is the same way here?
It's possible.
He could be a great coach, but for me, bro, if you can't play the Ajax style of play, that's fine by me. We can't play Ajax ball. We don't have the players for it. But at least create a system right now for the short term that is to your player's strengths. And right now, for me, he's not doing that. Because
that's where for me, Ten Hag might not be like suited for Manchester United.
Yeah,
if Ten Hag got everything he needed, I think we'd see fantastic football. The problem is that Manchester United are not going to give him that, and they're not going to give him the players that he needs, which is a shame, because I think if Ten Hag walked into a club like Manchester City, I think he'd do very well. Like, the team is already set. He already has all the profile he needs. Manchester United probably at this point need a manager that is like a Swiss Army knife that can do everything. Like, defensively, Defensively fantastic.
Brian, even with these players, like you've just said, they're still not good enough. So
they're not.
Even if he
they're
has the
not.
Swiss Army knife, even if he has the Swiss Army knife and it's Zidane or
Can I just read
something,
a couple of super
he's going
chats
to be
before you go,
asking
Adam?
them to do things that they can't do.
And then
before you go, Adam. Before you go, Adam. Hakeem says, "I trust Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder talent idea over Ten Hag." Damn, the same players are better than his signings. That's why I stopped blaming the same players. And I think Hakeem comes in, says, "Big up to Hakeem Tariq." Sorry, at this level, if you cannot get the players to bring in the intensity on match day, you don't deserve the manager's job. Point blank. Period. Ten Hag out. And Abdishek says the last manager who got a win at Anfield was LVG. A win at Anfield should be made as a criteria to judge how good is our manager. Ten Hag out. Adam, go ahead. By the way, people, like the video. 1.1k in here. Please like the video and support everybody's channels as well. Everybody's channels are in the description, so make sure you do that. But yeah, Adam, will you go ahead? You're gonna say something there.
Yeah. It's just look, I would agree with the statement that the players are shit. But which players now are we talking? Because people will say the players are dead, and then they will pick the wrong players.
I said it to you,
Adam. I agree with you.
Hold on.
I said it already to you, Adam. I've told you the guys that should be sold immediately.
No, but the guys that should be sold are not the guys.
Adam,
he's gonna give you the exact opposite players,
that
bro.
should be sold that are playing or picked.
I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you. Players like Bruno Fernandes, Rashford. I agree with you. They should be gone.
I'm
They
gonna
should
be
be
real.
Manchester United.
Someone asked this question on Twitter yesterday. If you had the power to clear out Man United, and no matter what the circumstances, how many players would you keep? I struggled to name 5. I said under 21.
You go. I've named by him on Twitter.
I said the under 21 players, obviously, because they're still very young.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to come back to my point.
I said, what else? I said Licha because I really rate Lisandro Martinez. I think whether he's a starter or not, I think as a left center back, he could give you that option, or even as a left back, I think he could give you an option. I did say keep Luke Shaw because, in my opinion, the left back market in Europe is really, really bad. Unless you can find me a top left back, and also the fact that Luke Shaw can play left center back to a high level. I said Rashford, just give me a good offer and I'll take it. And after that, I really struggle to name players. I don't think the squad is good, but I also don't think the manager is getting the best out of the squad. I think both things can be right. As a man, you have to get the best out of your squad because if you see the way we're playing, bro, our players are already knackered because they have to keep running because we don't have a pressing structure right now that is set. We're wide open everywhere in the midfield. Like if you saw the positional map from Saturday, it's absolutely abysmal. The fact that there's a donut circle in the midfield because it is wide open. There is no one there.
Whose fault that is?
And that's down to Ten Hag.
Exactly. Ten Hag.
It's not just Ten Hag's fault, yeah. And last season we were talking about open heart surgery. Last season you're talking about getting the best out of open heart surgery. That's what you're saying.
He got the best out of them last year. Well, he got the best out of them last year. Why can't he do it this year?
My problem is
he's changed the system because he's changed the system.
Let Adam come.
Let Adam come. Let Adam come. Style of football, and that's going to take time in the teething period when he's got a lot of players that needed open heart surgery. Open heart surgery. After you have the open heart surgery, there's a recovery.
Listen, Miller. This channel, we don't mess around. We go out. Anything happens on this channel. Yeah, go on. Go on.
My thing is, we just need to be honest, and I don't think we are being honest. And this is the problem because now we are defending Ten Hag and you are saying that he doesn't have the players that he needs to play, but the players that are not good, that should be gone, he's the one that picks them when he has other options that he brought on the bench. And the shit players, there are some dead players in that team that always play, and then we'll blame the ones that don't play, and then we'll blame the structure and not the manager and not the dead players. We need to make sense of this and start being a bit honest because if we are really, because look, who doesn't fit Ten Hag's style of play? He doesn't have. He bought Malacia, and we agree that Luke Shaw is better than him and can play with the ball. Martinez and Varane, top players. So the right back situation, fair enough. He bought Casemiro. He brought Amrabat. He brought Mason Mount. He made Bruno his captain. He brought Anthony from Ajax. He had his best team. His best Ajax team had Donny van de Beek. He spent £72 million on Højlund. The left wing option, he has Rashford that he never drops. I think Rashford is shocking, but he never drops him. So basically, there are just 2 positions in that team that are not Ten Hag's players. And even then, he doesn't drop those players. If you ask me, remove Bruno, remove Rashford, and then you might see Ten Hag football. Because we'd have people, we are pointing out at players for what they do, but I'm trying to talk about building a team. And people say this guy doesn't do nothing. This guy doesn't do. We need more players that don't do nothing. Keep the ball, receive. Like Kobe Mino. If Kobe Mino was 29 years old from Italy, no one would rate him. But he's a young British player from the academy, so people rate him. But if we had Matic drop performance that Kobe Mino did against Everton, everyone would slate Matic. What does he do apart from sideways and backwards passing? And if people say, oh, but we need someone like Rodri, if we had Rodri for Manchester City, our fans would hate him. Because what does he do? Is he defensive? Is he attacking? Does he make line breaking passes? He's not a high risk player. We don't love players that play football for the team. We love players that are.
I mean, Rodri's technically the most progressive player in the Premier League, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah, but because he has other players around him that play football. We need more players that when they receive the ball, they pick a red shirt, control the ball, pass it. Because the football has changed a lot in the last 20 years, but the basics is the same. You need to create space, and there are many ways to create space. But the thing it has, and this is what has changed over the last 25, 20, 30 years, how you create space. But the basic is the same. You get the ball and you pass it around and you pass and you make yourself available and you don't do stupid shit. You don't do impatient things like we have. We have players that I don't know how they understand. I would like to sit with those players and ask them, how do you understand football? What is your conception of football?
Counter-attack.
Yeah, but that ideology has come from the manager as well now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's persistent with that.
That's why for me, I'm not blaming these, like with Bruno Fernandes, for example, right? We all know him as a hoof merchant, but yet for Portugal, he doesn't do that. Why does he not do that?
Point B. I think that's what Ten Hag wants to do, to move it from point A to point B. The problem is maybe he tell a player like Bruno Fernandes, all right, I want to move the ball from point A to point B as efficiently as possible. Is that really his skill set? Does he put his head up and pick the right pass all the time? He doesn't. Rashford, same thing. Anthony, he has a lot of criticisms, but he's such a frustrating player to watch because I think he opens up a lot of space for himself.
He does
so many times. When he receives the ball on that right hand side, you can see he has passing options. He receives the ball well. And I think that's why Ten Hag used to play him a lot. Or maybe this season, with what happened off the pitch, he's not being himself. But we need more of those players. Like, you have people criticize. I was saying on, I don't know what was Talk Sports. They were criticizing Jack Grealish or not. There's a reason Pep trusts Grealish. He gets the ball. He sustains attacks. He keeps the ball in the Man City end of the pitch. Manchester United don't have that, and the midfield is completely worse. It's a bomb. But there's really nobody that maintains the tempo of football. So, on the technical aspect and on the physical aspect, it's not talked about enough. The reason why Newcastle United are probably the worst team for Manchester United to play is that physically Newcastle United run laps all over Manchester United. Like, Manchester United physically are one of the worst teams in the Premier League, if not the worst.
Bro.
People watch the game against Luton and Arsenal today and not understand why Luton actually stayed in a chance of winning that game today. It was because physically, Luton are one of the most physically imposing teams in the Premier League. They run and cover every blade of glass. They might not be as technically good as Arsenal or anything like that, but physically, in this league, if you're not top 2, top 3, you're never going to win anything. It's just not possible. And that's one of the biggest problems Manchester United have. Ralph Rangnick identified it. And it's unfortunate that they didn't listen to him when it came to signing players, because a lot of this crap we signed could have been avoided.
Big up to my filler Ark. He says, shout out to Saeed with the daily shows. You are consistent as #1 song of my Spotify Wrapped each year. It's by Rihanna and starts like Onana. What's my name? Yeah, big up to you, my filler Ark. And big up to fans, Sell Rashford, Maguire, Lindelof, Martial, Eric Ten Hag. They're fantastic players. They can give us something. They will come good. And sack players before Eric Ten Hag. Arteta took 4 years. And my last super chat is proof that Eric Ten Hag is being handicapped by genuine loves the players. We want to go, but Marcel blames players. SMH. Minna, are you worried about tomorrow? I know we haven't even discussed it a little bit, but are you worried about tomorrow? Like Chelsea, if we can't beat Chelsea, maybe that's when everybody else turns, and maybe that's when everyone else starts to really doubt whether the manager can. Because if you can't beat Chelsea, I'm sorry, man. Look at him already making excuses. But look, by the time I change my light here, Minna, let me know. Are you worried about tomorrow? Let me change my light.
Am I worried about tomorrow? I don't know, I think it just depends on who wants it more. Like, Chelsea got something to prove. United got something to prove. It's as simple as that. I feel like I haven't kept up with Chelsea that much this season, but from what I have seen, I feel like they are they've got positives in their season. They took points off City. They're able to score goals. We could only dream of taking points off a top 4 team this season, or we could only dream scoring consecutively, like more than 2 goals in consecutive games. I think it's gonna just come down to who wants it more. For me, it's not even about the manager. For me, it's more about the players. If those players can't come out and give a performance tomorrow, at home, bear in mind, I think this is one of like 2 home games in December. Champions League is 1, and then we got 2 in the Premier League at home. All the rest of our Premier League games are away. We got West Ham away. We got Bournemouth at home. We got Nottingham Forest away. We got West Ham away. So there's not many home games in December to pick up points. Last season, Old Trafford was a fortress. Yeah. This year, it's looking like a graveyard. I'm not gonna lie, it's looking a bit like a graveyard. And the
3 losses already this season. Yeah, 3 losses at home.
3 losses. Even the atmosphere is just not as it was last season. And I feel like tomorrow it can turn bad. Like I'm talking about Paul Pogba getting booed against Norwich bad. I think fans, if it's not a good performance and they concede a goal or 2, I think fans will start booing people, and I don't want it to get to that. I don't want it to get to that toxic stage, basically.
But it's already been booed though. Remember, Hoyland's getting substitution has been booed.
I think against the top 6. That's different gravy. I think that especially for a team, for me, who have struggled. Chelsea have not been. They've spent $1 billion. The lights are not on them because United are so bad. It's only Chelsea fans that I know their fan base is a bit chaotic at the moment. They're fighting each other, but tomorrow for me is A, how the manager sets up is the most important thing, and B is how the players perform. Like there's no way.
You know what he said, Manager... You know what he said. You know what he said, Mina, just to cut you off. The manager said in a question, will you change your team or whatnot? He goes, no, it'll be similar. Does that worry you, though, Mina, when he says that? Like, it'll be similar to what you've seen before or the last game against Newcastle.
For me, it's like I said it before. If you lot don't know, I'm Ten Hag in. I want him to succeed, but I question him a lot. I question him, and I think he's shooting himself in the foot when he's basically. It's like he's really trying to see out this bad form that players are in. The likes of Bruno when he's been in bad form this season. Keep playing him. Rashford, keep playing him. Anana when he was, literally Weetabix fingers putting goals into the back of the net.
Yeah,
he's just playing him through because he's hoping that he plays through the bad form. But I think with Rashford, it's reached a point where you can't play him through the bad form. I'd rather see Rashford come off the bench 10, 15 minutes left of the game to participate. I think if the manager does go with similar lineup and he decides to play a lone midfielder again against Chelsea, who have the likes of they play with Enzo Caicedo and Gallagher, right? That's their midfield. He's
suspended tomorrow,
I think Gallagher's got a red card, so he will not be playing.
But Enzo and Caicedo by him and Kobe by himself, McTominay as this fake hybrid 10 right winger striker, whatever position he plays, Bruno in the 10, that is midfield galore. Midfield.
Bro, Enzo's gonna cook, man. I can see Enzo cooking tomorrow.
They could probably fit everyone from the Stretford end in that midfield.
Yeah.
That's how much space Chelsea will have in the midfield. So for me, I think 2 people got stuff to prove: the players and the manager. If they win, good. It would be nice. But if they lose, I think the situation is just getting worse. It's getting worse.
Yeah, spot on. Like I told you yesterday, Saeed. Like Kobe Mino, I think it's been weeks since he last saw Bruno and McTominay. Like,
bro, that's crazy.
Cool lad, man.
It's kind of crazy because Ten Hag is trying to play this midfield that requires 2, basically almost 3 box-to-box midfielders who can get up and down frequently, and he's playing 2 more of the most ill-disciplined midfield players in McTominay and Bruno to play next to a kid in Kobe Mino. I don't agree with it. Like, I've criticized Ten Hag enough. People think I don't. I criticize him a lot, especially with the tactics that he's deploying right now. I know he's trying to get results, but there's different ways to go about it. I think if I was to play midfield tomorrow, I'd play Mainu. I'd play Mainu, Amrabat, maybe Hannibal. I probably wouldn't play Bruno. Bruno, I just think we need to keep the ball.
That's more like it.
We need to keep the ball against Chelsea because we think we transition. Chelsea actually transition with Sterling, with what's the kid they signed from Manchester City?
I have a feeling.
Palmer.
I have a feeling they're gonna use Mudryk tomorrow on the big ass pitch at Old Trafford too. He's gonna have all that space to run into. With how big Old Trafford is as compared to Stamford Bridge with that narrow ass stadium they got over there. I think we're in trouble. I feel confident for tomorrow. You know why? Because I think this week is the calm before the storm. Because next week We have Bayern at home, and then we have
Calm
Anfield.
before the storm. I think we're still in the storm.
No.
I don't think we left the storm.
No, next week is worse. Next week is worse.
Still in the storm.
No. Because next week, think about it. Because next Tuesday you have the final Champions League game, which will probably mean that we're eventually at the end of that game we're going to be eliminated from Champions League. So you're going to have all that to deal with, and then you have the place where you lost 7-0 last year.
By the way.
And we're probably going to get thumped again at Anfield if we're going to be honest. It might even be as bad as 7-0. So.
Yeah, people underestimate the importance of Gallagher in Chelsea's midfield. I genuinely think for me he's been one of their best players this season. You know, people talk about Caicedo and whatnot. He has a lot of legs in that midfield. His tenacity, his pressing from the front is very, very good. Cole Palmer will not press as well as Gallagher. If we don't take that advantage, and I mean advantage, bro, I swear to you, man, we are done out
Which is
here.
why I would use Hannibal. I don't think Hannibal is a star. I don't think he's like anything fantastic, but he's going to press and maintain discipline. You need discipline. Obviously, he gets yellow cards stupidly and stuff like that. I completely agree with that. But I can't remember the game when he was almost doing the work of two players in midfield. He got subbed, and the midfield performance just dropped, like from Manchester United. So people are going to be like, no, I know Bruno's going to play. He's the captain. He's going to play. Probably Rashford will play. I'm worried about this Chelsea game because I think certain managers have things they want to prove. I think Poch always wanted this Manchester United job, and he didn't get it. And I think tomorrow he's going to come to prove you guys should have given me the job. I think
he was the runner-up. To be fair,
he wanted this Manchester United job badly, and he didn't get it. I think he's coming with a point to prove tomorrow. I think Sterling tomorrow as well. Who they've been talking a lot about Sterling, and he's been on fire this season. I can't imagine Sterling. Shaw will probably play centre back, but whoever plays full back, if he's that low, he's gonna get cooked on that left side.
On his shoulder as well with the England. So
Sterling has never scored against us. Let's not break.
Oh well, it's happening tomorrow.
Seriously, he's never scored against Man United.
How many records have been broken?
He has never scored against Man United in his career.
Wow,
never. I think he's a Man United fan too. I think he's a Man United fan when he was a kid.
he's a United fan. But then again, obviously, Wan-Bissaka has got him sometimes, and obviously it depends.
He's playing on the right. He's gonna play on the right, so he's gonna play.
He's starting Mudryk tomorrow, man. It's gonna be Mudryk, Palmer, Sterling, and then Jackson up front. I think that's what Poch is going. But no, speaking of Poch, though, obviously since he was a runner-up and he's coming tomorrow, do you guys think? Obviously, maybe this might be hindsight. Do you guys think that maybe we should have gone with Poch, maybe based on like his flexibility?
No.
Oh, I said it already. No, I'll be real with you.
I asked that question.
Hold on. You know what's mad, yeah? I keep it 100, yeah? If I knew Ten Hag said I'm not playing the Ajax way, I would have binned off Ten Hag straight away, man. I would have said Poch in all day. I swear to you.
We talked about how certain managers might not fit Man United. Do you think that maybe Poch, and we talk about
man.
Army knife?
If I knew.
He's managed a club that's in a dire ownership situation at Spurs, so he's kind of more comfortable with it.
Come on, man.
So that's why I asked
the question. Come on.
I wouldn't go for Poch. There's only one manager that I'll go for if we get rid of.
Not right now. No, not right now. I'm talking about
but before
last year when we made that decision.
I still wouldn't go for Poch.
Okay, I had to ask that because
that's wild. That's wild, man. That's wild. Even if you knew, if he wasn't going to play the Ten Hag way, the Ajax football way.
If we weren't going for Ten Hag, that whole talk track about he wasn't playing Ajax way, I didn't expect him to play the way Ajax played. I expected him to play. I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect him to play the way Ajax played.
He's right, bro.
Said, the way Ajax play is not the only way to play good football.
No,
it's not the only way to play good football.
Yeah, it's not the only way, but we hired you for something, so don't come to me with something else.
Come on, man.
Ten Hag has said before. Ten Hag has said it when he was at Ajax too. The players make my team. The players make the style that I want to play. They determine what style I play. And he said the Ajax way is why I played that way. But he didn't play like that at FC Utrecht.
He proceeded to
bottled it, man. He's bottled it.
Bear in mind, the Ajax way died with him. When he
left,
it died with him. There was no Ajax way at the club.
That's even more great. That's even more greater initiative to carry that on with.
But one thing I will say, just to be like devil's advocate, is that playing the Ajax way is suited for the Dutch league. They got bulldozed over by Spurs in the Champions League when they tried to play.
No, that was lucky. That was lucky.
But also, I think in the Premier League, Why are you laughing at, Marcel? No. One thing I will say, in the Premier League, and the intensity of the Premier League, I think is different to the Dutch league. If Ten
But I
Hag,
get that.
one thing I'll say is I didn't like people saying he has to play the Ajax way, because this ain't Ajax. Play the United way. What's the United way of playing? Dominating possession.
I think we're confusing things here. You know what? I don't think we want him to play the Ajax way. We want him to play the Ten Hag way. We hired him for something.
Ten Hag way.
Because
that's it.
It's not about Ten Hag. There's a lot of United fans. There's a lot of United fans that associated the Ten Hag way with the Ajax way.
Just hold on. His first season, Pep, in the Premier League, he didn't win anything, and then second season, he just turned the Premier League into a Farmers League again. Because
but he adapted his way. He adapted his way, though, Adam. He had to find his way.
It's completely different teams, though. The team that Pep inherited at City.
They beat Madrid. They beat Madrid. They beat Juventus. They beat who else? This is
completely different.
Again, it's not the same, man. You lot giving
Champions League ever.
Bro, that was the worst. Only Gunnar Solskjaer made the quarterfinals of that Champions League.
I'm gassing up your manager. I'm gassing your guy, man. I'm gassing your manager here. I'm gassing up Ten Hag, the one that you're saying. I'm giving him his due credit. Everybody's seen what he did at Ajax. Everybody's seen his impact. Everybody's seen it. Guys, did you not see it? Why can you not? For me, I'm not saying bring everything, your nan, your granddad, whatever, to Manchester United. I want your core principles. And for me, when he's come to Man United, he's bottled it. He has found it, the pressure on Man United.
Have you seen those core principles during his
time? I've seen it in stages. Yeah.
So what's the difference between then? We're seeing it in stages and now not seeing it.
Because you know why? He's let certain players dictate to him. He's let certain players dictate to him. He's let certain players in the squad dictate him.
Okay, so last year, when you saw it in...
To be honest, as much as I want the manager to go now, I think he's a good manager, and I think he's actually working on things on the training ground. And I think there are patterns, and I think there are stuff that he's working on. But my problem is, I think he's misassessing the squad. I think he overrates some players that are not good enough. And he is...
Yeah.
Adam, I told you already, there's 100 man that need to be sold before. There's 100 man that need to be sold. 100.
Adam rattles everyone.
Just say Bruno Rashford. Don't have to say Bruno
Rashford. Look, I think I'm more consistent than you are, because I would sell everyone, but you said no. Keep Bruno and Shaw. I'll sell the whole lot for me. As far as I'm concerned.
Nothing personal, bro. Nothing personal.
I saw Bruno too, to be fair.
By the way, the super chat here from is it please say panel can't name no manager to replace Eric Ten Hag, bless. And Aminu says Mina, please smoke Saeed for being Ten Hag out. Don't worry, man, I'll be on their channel anyway, so just go and find her on their channel, Mina Football.
Can I just say one thing? Anyone that says Xabi Alonso makes no sense, because Xabi Alonso, you're cooking him the same thing Ten Hag gets.
No, I don't want Xabi Alonso.
He ain't won in a big league. Oh, he ain't done this. He ain't. Xabi Alonso won his first managerial job, and people are like,
the most hipster manager you could choose, and an ex-Liverpool player to coach Manchester United.
I see ex-Liverpool because Twitter. Don't do that. Sir Matt Busby was an ex-Liverpool player, and he's a great, and we have a whole boulevard named after him. So an ex-Liverpool player can't manage Man United.
I just think it's hypocritical that people get onto Ten Hag for just winning.
No, I actually just have trust that the DM pipeline to managers a successful.
But it's also a league that is not the Premier League as well. So therefore, he's come to the Premier League. He's had a good first season, but when it's time to now put the pressure on, he's now crumbling. He's crumbling, guys. This is another sign of weakness from Ten Hag. He's crumbling under pressure, and you lot are just like, nah, he's got it, and he's got the fight. He has no fight in him. He's finished.
We're all identifying the same problem. The difference is some of us are saying the solution is not sacking the manager. That's literally the only difference with what we're saying here. So everybody here
go through the pain. You go through the pain, basically. You go through the pain.
Pick your pain. No. There's going to be pain regardless.
Hold on a minute, please. Can you just explain, yes or no? Are you going to carry on with this pain of watching Man United? Yes or no?
Yes.
Rather than sacking the manager.
I've been a Manchester United fan for all this time. It's not going to change regardless of what's happening with on and off the pitch. The point is though, like, what I want to see, right, for Ten Hag is a clear plan above him on these are the players we want. This is the kind of style of football we want to play. We want to play attacking football. And if he can deliver that with a structure, he can go. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, I don't have any, like, super loyalty to Ten Hag. If he can deliver it when there's a clear plan above him, he's going to get sacked. It's as simple as that. But we can't make that decision right now without clarity on, okay, what kind of players are we signing? Like, look at all the players we've signed in the last year and a half. None of them correlate with each other. It's all chaotic. How does Casemiro correlate with Anthony? And like, it just makes no sense.
To be honest, there is a correlation because they have all either worked with Ten Hag or played against him. There is quite a correlation, to be honest. But I agree with most of what you said.
You know what's mad here, by the way, yeah? And a super chat here. Big up to Nico. He says Erik Ten Hag has Swedish syndrome if he's gonna keep same crap players every effing game after any disaster performance, game by game with no style of play. That's another thing as well that he doesn't do. He doesn't understand, yeah. When things are not working here, you need to change it. And he has a bad habit of changing it. He always just gotta go with the flow and go through the pain. Listen, man, change it up a little bit. And you know what? It's for the better of the team as well. Said is team Erik Ten Hag football is a humbler, and their knowledge as we see how he played Ajax and then we don't get anything similar is criminal. What he did used to get the United job, then if it wasn't about what he did at Ajax, stop the damn cap. You know what's mad? That's what makes me more sad. He makes me more disappointed than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm more disappointed in Erik Ten Hag than I am with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was not a coach. Ten Hag is a coach, and his football is no better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. It's simple. His football is no better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's football. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Because
and you can smile all you want, yeah. People don't realize it's no better. And I was the biggest hater of football.
This is why you're Ten Hag out. Because you were so hard on Ole. Now you have to keep the same energy for Ten Hag.
No,
it's not about same energy. It's about go on, Mina. Sorry.
No, I'm saying you got PTSD from Ole. You're just gonna hate everyone that comes
It's not PTSD. It's meant to be. We're meant to improve under a better manager. But this guy is not even any better than Ole. Then he's got one trophy, yeah, and he got third. But I don't see the improvements. People said, yeah, we finished second.
In 12 months.
It's 18 months, buddy.
No, I'm saying in his first year, he won a trophy. Yeah? People didn't even expect him to do well. People didn't expect him to. When he came in, forget United fans, every pundit and
so he overachieved.
He did overachieve.
So he overachieved.
But everyone knew that. I'm sure. I knew that.
So he overachieved, yeah. So now we come back to baseline. This is his level, then basically. This is his level.
This is the club's level, Saeed. We've been suffering for how long? We've all said that we're a mid-table side under not Mourinho maybe, but he said that was his greatest achievement. So even he would see that we're top 4 side. Then even Ole, come on. After
Bruno Rashford discourse, man, it's actually so annoying. Every single conversation, bro. The biggest gripe I have with Ten Hag is why is Scott McTominay my starting midfield? That's what we should be focusing on, not Bruno Rashford. Why is Scott McTominay? Like Nina said, McTominay's a false 10, right wing, right mid, center back, DM. He's like playing everyone on the pitch except midfield. He's not being a number 8. He's higher up the pitch than Rashford. A guy like whether we hate him or not, should McTominay ever be higher up the pitch than Marcus Rashford at any point? Never. Yeah, he's getting into positions I want Højlund in. Yeah, McTominay's over there.
Yeah,
like,
but
why is that doing my midfield? That's my biggest gripe.
Take that to Ten Hag because that's on him.
That's why I blame him. That's why I'm blaming him right now. Why Scott McTominay should not be. I would rather have Dan Gore there. I'd rather have Hannibal there. I'd rather even have Donny Van de Beek there. I don't even rate the guy. But at least I know Donny Van de Beek has space.
I do. See, I do hear that, but it's a thing where when you need to call for a footballer to get you out of a game against Brentford, and then you produce 2 goals, you're gonna give him a little bit.
That was the worst.
When he scores, when he's been scoring games, he's been part of scoring games, scoring goals. Sorry, not scoring games, scoring goals, and been contributing to scoring goals for our team. So you put Scott McTominay, I think against Galatasaray, scored the other day, good team goal. He was part of these little things. So it's like we have to reward him to that degree. Would you trust the youth player in Hannibal? Would you trust the youth player in Dan Gore? We've seen that last season with Zidane, Iqbal, and Savage.
One second, guys. One second, Marcel. Is the stream bugging, guys? Is the stream bugging? Let me know in the chat. I don't know if it's YouTube's acting up today. Let me know in the chat if the stream's bugging. Is it good? Cool. I don't know if maybe it's Marcel talking about some next level. YouTube can handle it.
We try to defend McTominay in the starting
McTominay.
I'm not trying to defend McTominay.
Refresh everyone.
He should not
refresh everyone.
Near that starting 11. What is Scott McTominay good at other than box crashing?
Exactly.
Look, this tells you.
But we're gonna wrap up anyway. Now we're gonna wrap up anyway.
McTominay's pressing, bro. He doesn't press. There is no pressing in Scott McTominay's game. He walks so much on the pitch.
I think McTominay is less of a problem than the other big players.
Absolutely not.
Because it's too easy, and if you have to criticize the others, it's just uncomfortable. And another thing, going back to the McTominay goals, we don't care about the goals. We are dead. We're not good. We are shocking, to be honest. And look, good Manchester United teams had Chicharito scoring every time he came on, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scoring every time he came on. But they were not scoring the game after, because we had a way of playing with set starters that were better. And if the subs do their jobs of being super subs and scoring, fine. If Rashford was a super sub for us and he would score a lot of goals off the bench, I would love it. It wouldn't be a starter, but I would love his impact off the bench. I would love it because that would be really good.
Last two super chats, and we're going to wrap up here. Memphis says failure is key to success. Long-term pain for was it short-term pain? You mean what are you trying to say? Long-term pain for long-term gain. Okay, sorry. We must change players before the Erik ten Hag, or we will be here again in 18 months. And last question here says, can Pado answer the question? What is Erik ten Hag's style, and can you see what he's doing? If yes, explain without saying we need new players. That they can't do. They can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I can.
Go on. Okay. You simplify it. I'm gonna let you be the chairman of saying that. I'm not even gonna let Miller and Brian come in. I'm gonna let you go. Explain Ten Hag's football.
So we have build-up principles and turnovers. Those are the two key elements of what Ten Hag is trying to do with his structure and how he plays football. In between that, we have
It's not style of play, though.
I don't understand.
Turnover is not style of play. Turnover is not style of play.
Well, what is
okay. Build-up is a style. Okay, let me finish. Build-up is a style of play. Some teams don't build up, other teams do build up. You can kick it long into spaces, or you can pass through the midfield, through the defensive midfield lines. That's one style. We've not seen it all the time because he doesn't have the whole squad of players to be able to produce that consistent build-up. It's very simple. Now, turnovers, that's basically hunting down the build-up of the opposition team. We've seen that in passages and in groups of fives when he has Bruno, Mason Mount, Rashi when he wants to try and play for the football club, and co. And there's a couple others in there that add that tight five. Against Arsenal, we saw it. Against other clubs, we've seen it. Why have we not seen it consistently? It's very simple, guys. Injuries, quality of player and form. And once all these things and these variables come together, he has one more thing that I think he's struggling with, which he was struggling at the beginning of the season, which is the midfield. That's the area that we need to fix again for the 1000th time. But he will get used to that and he will change it, I believe. And he will finally put somebody else alongside Kobe to make maybe a 3-2-5. But there's clear things that he wants to do in this football club, guys. He wants to be the best in the turnovers, retrieving the ball from the opposition's build-up. Retrieve the ball from the opposition's build-up, and then his own build-up. We didn't have that last season. With David De Gea, with other managers, we didn't have that. So
Can I make a counterpoint real quick? So we talk about this.
Make it counterpoint quickly.
Talk about this build-up stuff. So, but we're not doing that. So why bench Varane? If you're trying to be building up, but you're not building up because Ronaldo just keeps kicking long. Why is Varane bench for Victor Lindelof?
Yeah,
none of these players, none of these players are suited. Like kind of what Brian was saying before, to this style. So you're never going to see this at the Ajax level yet until they go. You're never going to see this at a good Premier League standard till they go.
Why not keep your best? Because Ange, for example, I saw Ange use Ben Davies and Emerson Royale at Etihad and try to play out the back consistently. And those guys don't fit that style of play. Yeah, he tried it. So if Ten Hag was trying to do that with Lindelof and Maguire, but maybe it wasn't working and sometimes working, I'd stand by it. But he's not playing through the back.
Can I just say
count? Sorry, Mina. Can I just quickly come? He tried it last season, and he said that there were surplus to requirements because he tried it last season, Griggs. He put Maguire on the halfway line, and we saw what happened. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
can I just say, with Varane not playing, Varane's not the best on the ball in the back line. Varane looks better on the ball.
We built better with him.
But Varane looked better on the ball when he was playing with Lisandro Martinez. I think, especially in the few times we saw Lisandro, Onana, Varane playing together, we saw, the opportunities where, Varane would kind of come a bit more central. Onana would play to him and he'd play first time pass to Lisandro, who would progress the ball. But if he was to play Varane and Maguire together, or Varane and Lindelof, it's not the same as having Lisandro. So that's my answer to why is he benching Varane. I'll say about the style of football. I think the players right now genuinely, in my opinion, I don't think they have the capabilities to play the way that the manager plays. The manager said today that he does not want to play man marking. But yet, every game I'm seeing people doing man marking. Yeah, he said it in the press conference. He said he doesn't want to play man marking. But I'm seeing it every game. Is that basically the manager is not telling them to do that, and they're doing that, as in like the captain's telling them, guys, come on, mark up, everyone mark up, and they're man marking, or is someone lying? I don't know. But
we need Danny. We need Danny to come, man.
Yeah, and you know what?
You know what I'm gonna see. You know what Danny showed me, when Eric Ten Hag's football was, and he's so true what he said, He said you're gonna see some mad formations, and you're seeing it right now. But the problem is, though, he needs to realize you ain't got no Ajax players. So what are you doing that style play with these group of players? And if you're gonna do that, bring your guys that you brought in. And still, we're seeing that right now. The guys that he brought in, he's still not using for that style. Exactly. You know, and that's where, for me, my confusion comes in as to what his style of play is. But listen, before we go, big up to Tariq says, why run this style? Well, there you go. We just kind of explained it a little bit in that bit there, man. So big up to Tariq. Listen, predictions. I'm going for 1-0. Everybody go round. Predictions. Griggs, you first.
2-0.
2-0 United. I'm saying 1-0 United. Miller, give me your prediction.
3-1 United.
3-1. Damn. Okay.
Don't ask me who's gonna score because I'm on crack at this point.
Yeah. Adam, let me know.
For the driest 1-1, like the worst possible 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Marcel, 5-0. I'm guessing.
2-1. Rashford and Bruno to score.
I hope.
Wow. I hope so. Yeah, I hope for their confidence. I hope so. Big up to you, by the way, not Nate, Leon in the chat, by the way. Big up to you. Brian, what are you saying?
3-2 Chelsea.
Wow, he wants him sacked, the manager. Wow, it's crazy.
This is what I see. This is what I see.
I see how it's funny how we complain about the team, but we still predict they're going to win every single game.
No, because you know what it is? United, 1-0, it's not something to be shouting over. It's 1-0 United. That's all it is.
The thing is, we want our team to win.
We want our team to win. I never want United to lose. And also, it's Chelsea are not great. Chelsea are not giving. I'm not giving Chelsea enough respect to say we can't win against them. Like, they're not that team. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm making a clip for that, but they're not that team. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? The thing is, we all want the team to win. We all want what's best for the team. We just disagree on what is best for the team. But at the end of the day, we want the same thing. Like, I would sell Rashford and Bruno, and Marcel wouldn't. But I still like Marcel, and we still want United to win.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, man, it's been a great debate. Please, guys, hit the like button. This is Late Vibes. It's been some great vibes in here. You know what I mean? Some crazy comments. But I'll let you decide in the comments after the video. Make sure you let us know who was the best debater in here. Was it Marcel? Was it Miller? Was it Brian? Was it Adam? Was it Griggs? Or was it myself? Who knows? Let us know in the comments below. Griggs, let them know where they can find you, man. Big up for coming on as well.
Thank you for having me as always. At Michael_Griggs26 on Twitter. And then Griggs Talks for YouTube. Next video is obviously going to be the match review tomorrow. Hopefully it's a positive one because my last two, I've actually felt like so depressed when I do them. So I want some positive vibes in my match reactions. So United, please win.
Yep. Absolutely. Miller, big up to you. I think we'll be back this week somehow. We'll chat again. But yeah, big up to you, Miller, for coming on. Yep, there you go. Big up to Miller.
I meant to say something. My bad. Sorry. What do you want to say?
Let them know where they can find you.
What do you want to find you? Okay, sorry. Yeah. At Minute Football, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all of that, and United View. You guys know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you follow them. Adam, the Professor, big up to you for coming on. You know what I'm saying? It's been a pleasure.
Pleasure as always, my bro. It was a pleasure to me to talk to you. Minat was the first time on the channel as well, so pleasure as always.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Big up to Miller. Marcel, man, listen, you know my bro, man. It's all love, man. You know, it's good to have polar opposite debates, man. That's what it's about, man. Big up to you.
Yeah, big love every time, Said, man. It's always good to speak with you. And of course, Miller as well. My number one doggy as well, Red Room, United View, and everything. So, and Adam, really good conversation with you. I've spoken to Griggs before, and Brian as well, first time speaking with you. So, really happy and thankful, Said, for putting me on today. You know, big game tomorrow, guys. So, you know, looking forward to hopefully speaking another times throughout the week or whenever about what's happened throughout today and the other big games coming out of the weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, are you at the game tomorrow? I'll see you there tomorrow. If you're
Yeah,
at
I
the
should
game.
be at the game tomorrow. If not, I'll be at Bayern Munich for sure. I got to get for Bayern.
Okay, cool. Brian, big up to you, man, for coming on, man. Love for coming on. Let them know where to
Hey,
find you.
anytime, man. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you guys. Marcel, Mina, this is the first time we've ever been in a show together, so you guys are cool. Obviously, we agree more than we disagree. Saeed,
Yeah.
I know we disagree a lot, even on Twitter.
Yeah.
So obviously,
A
if you
lot.
guys want to see more of that, follow me at the Ellie Pundit. I pretty much always like review Manchester United's matches and stuff, and I try to keep it fair and balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to everybody who's been here. Yeah, man, there might be some more drama tomorrow, apparently. You know what I mean? There's apparently an interview dropping and loads of stuff
Oh,
dropping. So
God.
tomorrow, I'm going to the dentist, but you never know. I could be back here talking with a swollen tooth and, you know what I mean? Madness going on. But listen, people, like the video on your way out, people. Big up to everybody who's super chatted, knowledge. Loads of people that I can't remember their names. So big up to you guys for super chatting on this channel. It's been a pleasure, honestly, guys. Thank you. Make sure you follow everybody's channels as well. And I'll see you tomorrow. What next for my United? Who knows?